Welcome back again. We're now going from Hawaii to Lagos, Nigeria. And in Lagos, we welcome Joseph, and I probably pronounced this wrong, Joseph, Olugbenga. See how much I know about Nigeria. Not much. But he's the head of Molon Creation. He will tell us a lot more what it is. And he will actually be attending the Reset event we've talked about a few times in London at the Churchill Hotel in London. Beautiful hotel. I've stayed there myself a few times. A lot of the people from the UAE actually like to stay there, and it's a great location. If you do go to Reset, my recommendation is try the high tea. It's one of the best I ever had, and definitely a must. And across the street from that place is this Pakistani restaurant. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner. But anyways, Reset is coming closer. It's on the 16th of September. It's an all-day event. And it's about resetting the travel and tourism industry, and it's really worth participating. So if you are in London, you can go to our website at wtn.travel/reset, wtn.travel/reset, or simply on any of our websites, click on events, and you can register. We will also live stream a number of sessions from London here on our network at the Breaking News Show on eTurbo News, Aviation, and all our various platforms. And we will see Joseph there. Joseph, tell us a little bit more. Why are you going to London?
Okay, first of all, thank you for having me jogging on the Breaking News Show. And we are very happy to partner with the TLC Harmony, who are the organizers of the Reset Summit 2022 in London. The Mall of Fame Nigeria is the African coordinating body company, and we are the representative in Africa, Nigeria. And our sole aim is to bring in private sector stakeholders and public sector leaders to attend this summit to learn a bit of sustainability. Mall of Fame Nigeria is a project that supports tourism development in Nigeria from generations. We have a generational plan, and that's from the young generation to up to the public sector and the corporate bodies. And recently, we were approached by TLC to work with them on the Reset Summit, and we're very happy to be able to get a lot of private sector leaders to attend, and myself and other tourism enthusiasts and tourism companies who want to learn so much about sustainability. We're very grateful to the Reset Summit team, and I will mention very clearly Nikki Page and Leo Downer and Kirk Heather, and also the former Secretary General, Dr. Talib of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, for giving me the platform. And yourself as well. Thank you.
Oh, and it's great you will be in London. And when we talked a little bit before the show, what I really liked is that you believe in the younger generation in tourism. And we have to educate the younger generation, because this world is changing, and sustainability is such an important factor. Climate change is such an important factor, and this world is unpredictable. So looking in a crystal ball, how do you see the future for tourism, or let's say for tourism to Nigeria? Now, Nigeria is, for those that haven't been to Nigeria and don't know Nigeria, is one of the major economic powers actually in Africa. Even though it's not yet such a huge tourism destination, but it's the driver of almost anything in Africa, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I would say very clearly that the Mall of Fame Nigerian team, and who are present with me even on this interview, I will introduce them very shortly. We believe in Nigeria and the tourism that will help in our per capita income, and also the FDI, foreign direct investment. But we are very particular about the private sector, pulling the public sector, who are the regulators. And the private sector has been very good in Nigeria to support tourism development at every level. And Mall of Fame Nigeria, we got into a lot of research 2 years ago, and we said we're going to do tourism at the international level, bring in international companies to partner with private sector. where we introduced the e-tourism business awards and summit conference in February this year. It was a very successful summit, and we partnered with World Tourism Association for Culture and Heritage, Mr. Chris Flynn. He was there with us. Good Tourism Institute, Netherlands, Center Smart Tourism, Kazakhstan, Germany, and other people from different parts of the world who, just like you, believe that Africa, Nigeria has the potentials to improve tourism generally. But what we have done so far is also take tourism to the next future generation, which is the schools, meaning that we want to change the curriculum of schools to include tourism studies. And we had what we call the Future Kids Project. And the Future Kids Project is a competition and award for schools who have to put in their school cultures tourism as part of growing up for the children. And so we put this together, and we're very happy once again that the private sector in Nigeria have supported this project. This includes Domino Stores, Eat and Go Limited, Domino, Cold Stone, Studio 24, Brain Foods, Autism Foundation. And what we did, again, is to make sure that tourism supports CSR. What I mean by that is the Future Kids Competition and Award is supporting autism, children living with autism. As much as we want tourism to be beautiful and commercialized, we also want to ensure that the world understands that for sustainability, we have to do a bit of CSR, which is supporting children with autism. And that's why I got a team together on this project. Some of them are here. They're going to introduce themselves in a couple of moments. They are professionals in registered nutritionist, AIDS broadcaster, and all of that. We got the team together to do this.
Well, that's wonderful. And Nigeria definitely will have a bright future in tourism. And there's so much more than actually what extends to the tourism sector in Nigeria. What I understand is fashion is a huge industry, what falls within tourism somehow. And so is music, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Music is very big in Nigeria and is doing a lot. But remember, the music is growing, and the young generation have to learn to commercialize music. And it's not for one person, it's just not for one group of person. It's supposed to grow big. America, they had this model to make their music a tourism sector. And now, even from the 90s to now, you can still sing songs from the American community and you still enjoy it. So we want to do that for Nigeria as well. And you're right, music is big in Nigeria.
And you have two guests you brought today, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And we are very inclined to the public sector as well. Recently, Nigeria launched the Imagine Nigeria project, which is supposed to change the national narrative and of course to have a culture of innovation. It's a beautiful project launched by the presidency, and we will be partnering with them in a bit based on activation for that. And there's a plan for Nigeria to move forward in image and national narrative. And this starts from the young generation. The youths are very important to the development of Nigeria. I believe that with the Mall of Fame Nigerian projects, we will be going to the universities as well. We have what we call the campus honors. That's going to happen next year, first fall of next year, first quarter. And we have a team that will do that. So Mall of Fame Nigeria is very proud to be part of Reset Summit. We're there to also learn a bit about sustainability, even from companies such as yours, who are very experienced in this, and what you're doing for the world, so to speak, and Africa. We're inclined to work with you.
Yeah, and the world is interchanged. I just came back last week from Malta and had a conversation with Julian Zarp, who's also very much involved in what you're involved, but for the Mediterranean. And they have maybe a little bit of a different problem. The problem really, not only in the Mediterranean, even here in Hawaii, where I'm at, is a lack of less and less people actually are seeking job opportunities within the travel and tourism field. What makes the operation of tourism a big challenge. It's not only the maids, they're no longer there. It's now a shortage of pilots in all sectors of the industry. And encouraging young people and making young people understand the advantages to work in this field is so important. Uh, do you have similar issues? Probably not in Nigeria, where you have a lack of people. Are you looking for people who wanted to work in the tourism field, or you have enough people who maybe wanted to look to work outside also Nigeria or elsewhere in the world, and fill some of the gaps?
Oh, that's a very good question. I've worked in the hospitality industry, thankfully, and I was the group head of business development. And we noticed that, yes, we had what we call the foreign direct investment through employing expatriates who come to the country to teach on tourism. This is necessary because, yes, we are still a growing growing professional tourism community, or as a country, and we need a lot of help. Yes, a lot is being done by the National Tourism Development Corporation to, of course, regulate what we call the employment of personnel for each aspect of hospitality, hoteling, traveling, and all of that. And it is developing. But I will say very clearly, we need more partnership with sectors and institutions like yours outside the country to develop very strictly a tourism standard for the travel industry and, of course, the hospitality industry. This cannot be changed. And that's why we said, look, that we should have what we call a plan to include tourism in the curriculum of Nigerian schools as a subject. And thankfully, Mrs. Nana Yakubu, she just launched a national curriculum book for schools in Nigeria. I mentioned her name because we worked with her and she worked so hard to include that in the curriculum, and that's a big one. I think that's one of the first African countries, just like Kenya recently included coding for their school as a thing. For we have a plan, and I say again that we will drive on the Imagine Nigeria project from the presidency, who has almost like a 50-year plan to change the narrative for the country.
Wow, teaching tourism into school. I haven't heard this, and this is definitely a very interesting initiative. And so the lady we see here, we haven't given her the chance to say anything. She's involved in this plan in teaching tourism.
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
Yes. Yes. I will introduce first. Her name is Ijoma Ugu. Can you just introduce yourself, Ijoma?
You have to unmute yourself, please.
Okay. Yes, I have done that.
Okay, there we go.
Good morning. Yes, I am Ijoma Ugu. So I am a human nutritionist and a food scientist. But I've, over the years, channeled my energy into catering for individuals with neurological impairments. So there has been a surge in the number of children coming down with a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. Right. And when I started this, it was unheard of that nutrition could play a part in their management and future potentials. But yes, I'm happy that today I've managed to drive that consciousness into the public. A lot of awareness have gone in. Parents are coming out to seek for nutritional help for their children. So basically, I offer this services to families and individuals affected by autism spectrum disorder, managing them with nutritional approaches. And on my food science part, I also manufacture food products that are hypoallergenic, which they can eat and be comfortable with. So that's basically who I am. I am involved with Mall of Fame Nigeria, trying to drive that inclusiveness. I mean, as you speak about tourism, you have to include everyone. it seems like in our community, we are always seeking for attachments. But yes, we have to include even the less abled in all we do. So we bring in the health aspect and inclusiveness aspect of the project to the public so that everyone can actually partake in the talent hunt. I'm talking about the project at hand now. So that is me, and that is what I do. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. And I think I couldn't agree more with you. Inclusivity in tourism is definitely a must. But just real quick, you said nutrition and autism. Autism is connected, so
yes, yes.
Heard that.
They have a lot of physiological anomalies or peculiarities that nutrition can actually address. They come down with a lot of gastrointestinal problems. They have conditions that have to do with mitochondrial functions. So you have a lot of them having constipation because their fine muscles cannot churn food properly. They can't defecate properly, so they can't chew properly because of muscle issues. So nutrition comes in. They have a lot of feeding challenges. As a matter of fact, that was my topic of research in my recent studies. And they have a lot of feeding challenges, which is affecting their nutrient intake and invariably affecting their nutritional status. And we know that for the brain to also recover, you need a lot of nutrients to provide the energy and the nutrients. So because of their feeding challenges, they don't get enough nutrients. And even if they get, they have a lot of issues in their gastrointestinal system, which hinders nutrient absorption and nutrient utilization. So offering the right nutrition and in the right form goes a very long way to counter this lack of nutrient intake and improve even on the development, the mental development you seek for. I could go on and on, but
I think we should go on maybe at another time. Have a special
yeah.
session on nutrition. I would love to invite you because this is such an interesting subject, and especially here in the United States, it's a very hot issue. So let's for another event. We're a little bit over time here already, but there's one more guest I think maybe you can introduce.
Yes, she's a board of award and she's an ace broadcaster and presenter, Olugbenga, and she has been there promoting culture and art and tourism in Nigeria for so many years. She's well known from the popular Akwa Ibom state, and she's known nationally, and she's an awardee of different awards. Olugbenga, over to you.
I think you have to unmute yourself also, please. There we go.
I've done that. Good morning from Nigeria. I don't know if it is afternoon or whatever over there.
Evening here.
Okay. I am a long-time broadcaster. I am a music educationist or music educator. And I am in charge of all the music teachers in my state. We organize because we look at the children as leaders of tomorrow. And we say we cannot go to any other place than focusing on the children. So we do this competition every year, calling on schools to compete. We give them pieces to sing. We give them a particular dance to perform. And they do, and they go home with some prizes. And then I use this too on my program, on my TV program. I do a program known as Music Maker, where we learn how to do music using the theory of music, but we just use the everyday life. For example, we use music to learn how to count. We use music to learn how to spell, and on and on and on. And now I am into Mall of Fame project. I know that with Joseph, we are going to get tourism. We're going to give it a name. We're going to lift it to higher height in Nigeria and across the nation, and I mean across the international market. We're packaging something, and I know Joe will let you know more of what we're doing. We're focusing on the children. We want them to know that they can compete without any bias. And if they make it with smiles. If they can't make it, they can't make it with smiles. You know, that is what is lacking in Nigeria. People don't want to fail because they feel when they fail, they are a failure. They don't know that when you fail, that's the beginning of your success. So we're into that. And because of time, I want to let you know that we're in together to make a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Wonderful. The way you said it, it's absolutely fantastic. So we should also talk a little bit more about it. But Joseph and everyone, thank you so much for your time and being on the Breaking News show today. And specifically, good luck at Reset in London. Again, this was just a glimpse of what you will hear at Reset. There are a lot more speakers at the event. And if you are in London on the 16th of September, go to wtn.travel/reset, wtn.travel/reset, and you can still register. If you're not a member of the World Tourism Network, please join us. Also go to wtn.travel and click on join, and we would love to have you on board. And those that are watching the Breaking News show, if you missed the beginning of it, just stay tuned. We're going to repeat it every 2 hours for the next 24 hours from the beginning, depending when you watch us. And after this, you find us on YouTube, on Vimeo, and on our own live stream. So you have an opportunity to watch this and any of our other shows again anytime you like. Well, good morning to Nigeria. It's now nighttime here in Honolulu. We hope, we wish success for everything you're doing. It sounds quite exciting, and a good time in London, and please stay safe. And I hope we see you again soon. We say aloha from here. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.